Hello everybody, this is Zaxter99. Today I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys again, and we're talking about, we're going into week 15. So we have week 15, week 16, week 17 left. 3 weeks left. Coming up on the weekend for 15, Dallas now travels to Philadelphia. And I want to talk about how important this particular game is. Now, as you can see in the NFC East, Dallas and Philadelphia are both tied 9 and 4. Philadelphia right now holds the edge over the Cowboys, and it's not against each other is the way they're ahead of the Cowboys with a 9 and 4 record. The first tiebreaker is division record. So if you look, Philadelphia has a perfect division record compared to Dallas's 2 and 2 record, where Dallas has given up losses to Washington and now Philadelphia. Okay, so Dallas basically needs to win the division, is what Dallas needs to do to put themselves, if they beat Philadelphia Sunday night, okay, Dallas would be 10 and 4, they'd knock Philadelphia a game behind at 9 and 5. And Dallas would then control their own destiny as far as winning the division, okay? So if we look here, if Philadelphia was to win, Philadelphia would go to 10 and 4, Dallas would jump down to 9 and 5. As you can see here, it looks like Green Bay with the red-hot Aaron Rodgers is probably going to win the NFC North. Okay, let's go ahead and switch to a new color here. Detroit Lions, let's make it orange, something we can see easier. There we go. So we talk about Detroit Lions. There would be another team Dallas would be looking at a wild card against, assuming Green Bay wins this division. Now the NFC South is going to go to either Atlanta or the Saints. One of those two is probably going to win, and nobody else is even going to have a chance at the wild card. So for the most part, we're going to have one team here win the division with a probably losing record. So you don't even need to worry about the NFC South taking a wild card. But down here in the West, let's assume the Arizona Cardinals stay red hot and win that division. So Arizona will check as the division winner. More than likely, they will win the division. Could happen that Seattle could come back, but probably pretty unlikely. Now, Seattle at 9 and 4 right now would be your other wild card team. San Francisco also has a chance of jumping into the wild card picture. Okay. So if we look here, only two teams are going to actually make a wild card spot. So right now, if the season was to end today, Philadelphia would win the division, so they're going to the playoffs. Green Bay wins, they're going to the playoffs. Atlanta, let's say, one of these two teams is going to win that division. That's it. And then let's say Arizona wins the NFC West. That would leave Seattle at 9 and 4 and Detroit at 9 and 4 currently, being the two wild cards over Dallas. Now you might say, well, Dallas beat Seattle earlier in the season. Yes, they did. But the first thing to look at isn't head-to-head record. It's actually division wins. So Seattle has a better divisional record right now, 2 and 1, than the Cowboys at 2 and 2. That's why they would actually make the playoffs, from what I understand. So if Dallas loses to Philadelphia, drops to 9 and 5, Dallas is going to need, the next two games after that are going to be of utter importance against the Colts and Washington. They would definitely need to win those last two and then hope for help. Hope that other teams beat either Seattle, Detroit, and possibly the 49ers, keep the 49ers from jumping into it. Best the 49ers could do right now is 10 and 6. Okay? So if Dallas was to drop to 9 and 5, they would basically be forced to beat the Colts and then forced to beat Redskins. Beating the Colts and Andrew Luck is no easy task. Okay, the Colts are red hot this year, and if we look at the Colts record, I believe they're 9 and 4 as well. So the Colts are red hot this year. That will not be an easy game. So the best way for Dallas to actually win make sure they get in a playoff spot is to beat Philadelphia, jump ahead one game of Philadelphia, and then they control their own fate. As long as Dallas continues to win the last two games after beating Philadelphia, they're going to win the division no matter what. There's no way Philadelphia is going to jump ahead of them if Dallas wins this Sunday and jumps ahead for the division. Dallas will be guaranteed a playoff spot by beating Philadelphia and then just staying ahead of them in the division. So even if Dallas, it's just utter important that the Cowboys beat Philadelphia the Sunday night. It's their most important game they have left right now, because if they beat Philadelphia, they jump a game ahead. Then even if Dallas was to lose against Indianapolis next week, as long as Philadelphia loses, then one of the last two games, then Dallas is still going to win the division. So by far, right now, this is the most important game Dallas has left when Dallas goes into Philadelphia. Do I think Dallas will win? I actually do. I think Dallas is going to be prepared, a lot more prepared for this game. They've had more time to rest because the last game they played was on a Thursday night. They've already had 8 days since that game, today being Friday before the Sunday night game. And the last time on Thanksgiving, Dallas, they had both played a Sunday game, but Dallas had a Sunday night game and had played up in New York on Sunday night. And from what I had read, they didn't even get back into Dallas until 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. And then they had to prepare for the Thursday afternoon game there in Dallas on Thanksgiving Day. Philadelphia had an early game on Sunday. Still, it was the same amount of days, but a little better, a little more time to prepare for the game was Philadelphia. Dallas is going to be the better rested team. No excuses this weekend when they go into Philadelphia to play Chip Kelly's team again. And I got to go ahead and give Chip Kelly all the credit in the world for, taking what he's taken with the Philadelphia Eagles and putting them in a situation now where they are as good as they are. They basically manhandled the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. They came into Dallas and they basically raped our wives, and they took our turkey and ate it too, in our home. And, Philadelphia for a long time has been my most hated team. I dislike Philadelphia more than any team in the NFL. Obviously the division rivals, you never really like the division rivals, but I have respect for the Washington Redskins, the Giants. I have nothing really against them, but I have an utter hatred for the Philadelphia Eagles, and I don't think it's so much the players. Because Deshaun Jackson and, all the different guys that, Donovan McNabb, all the different guys that have been on the Eagles over the years, really have nothing against the players themselves. Really, and I'd like to hear your comments about this, but really my biggest gripe about the Philadelphia Eagles, the reason I hate them so much, is the fans. These are the same fans when Jimmy Johnson took over the team back in the early 90s that threw snowballs at the Cowboys as they entered Philadelphia field back in 1989, I believe it was. The same fans that I will never forget when Michael Irvin, took his career-ending injury up in Philadelphia, up there in the Stadium of Brotherly Love, and he was down, on the ground for whatever it was, 15, 20 minutes while they're checking him out. He can't even move. And in any other stadium, the crowd would have grown silent. People would have been praying, that he was okay, that he could at least walk off the field, something. And I'll never forget watching that game and being so concerned for Michael Irvin and hearing the crowd up in Philadelphia just go absolutely nuts and cheering and screaming and hollering. There's only one stadium that would ever happen in. Only one. That wouldn't happen even with the Oakland Raiders. No, that only happens with the Philadelphia Eagle fans. And so I really think the fans for the Philadelphia Eagles, the low class that they present all the time, and they've done it ever since I was a kid, Philadelphia fans are, I think, the biggest reason that I hate the Eagles. And so, it's always a big game, a big emotional game for me as well when the Cowboys face the Eagles. Obviously, it helps with the Eagles being as good as they are. It makes the division rival between the Cowboys and the Eagles so much more intense. But any of these games, Philadelphia has their last two games is against the Redskins and the Giants, while Dallas finishes against the Colts and the Redskins. So basically the only difference there is Dallas plays the Colts while Philadelphia gets the Giants. I'd rather play the Giants again than I would the Colts. And then both of them play in Washington as one of their final two games. So, Philadelphia has not exactly an easy games the last two games either, because division rivals, as we already know, in any division can always play up to the level of the competition. And I'm sure the Giants and the Redskins, at least starting out, are going to come out fighting and ready to play for both the Eagles and the Washington Redskins when they play the Cowboys that last game of the season. So, huge game for the Cowboys this Sunday night. I do think that we're going to win. I'm going to go ahead and predict a score of 38-28 Dallas. I think that Romo is going to be a lot better than he was. I think the whole team that was kind of flat, on Thanksgiving Day is going to be ready to play this Sunday night. And I expect Mark Sanchez not to have as good a day as he did on Thanksgiving Day as well. He'll probably throw a pick or two. And I think we're going to come away with a 10-point, maybe a 2-touchdown win. I don't think we're going to go in there and blow them out. And even if Philadelphia wins, I think it's going to be a lot smaller victory than it was on Thanksgiving Day. But we'll see what happens this Sunday night. Just want to go ahead and let you guys know how important this Sunday night game is and how important it is that we go ahead and win. It's definitely our most important game of our last 3 games at this point. Obviously, if they win, I'm still going to be, we're still going to be wanting them to win every game just so they stay ahead of the Eagles and they win the division. But if one game is the most important, this Sunday night is definitely the most important game as far as playoff hopes and playoff contention for the Cowboys. I want to go ahead and see what you guys think about the Sunday night. Who do you think is going to win? What do you think about the Cowboys' chances this year? Do you guys think the Cowboys are a much improved team over they have been in recent 8 years? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Be sure you subscribe to me up here in the upper right if you're not already subscribed, so you get a notification of all my future videos. I do lots of different video games, lots of Cowboys talk, fantasy football talk, cooking videos. I do all kinds of stuff right here on this channel. And, be sure you give me a thumbs up if you like this video as well. It just takes you a second, and I appreciate that. It helps, goes a long ways to showing me that you guys appreciate the content and the videos that I'm putting up. Take care, everybody. We'll see you Sunday night, and I'll be reporting back here probably either Monday or Tuesday to talk about what happened with that game. Take care, everybody.